The important thing is, the difference is, some of us just decided to allow the man and the woman of God to place their hands and let us know as far as our gifts and also what we're called to do. It's important because this is how we move forward, and we begin to know the importance of us being able to, knowing that this isn't just for us, but there's certain people that I can't reach that you can reach. There's certain people that these people can reach that other people can't reach. So it's important for us to not just allow some of the people to die on the cross and be a new creation man, but it's meant for all of us to be new creation man and walk in the newness of life and allow God to bring, you know, the fullness of Himself to us. You know, the thing that I thought about was that the resurrection just isn't a doctrine to believe, but I believe that it's also something that that brings truth. And it should change us. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
It's important. Share it, and then I'm going to show you a story.
That Spirit of God, the Spirit of God is in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we talk about the same Spirit that raised Him from the dead, it's the same Spirit that's going to raise you from the dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same Spirit. The same Spirit that you cast demons out, it's the same Spirit.
Amen.
The same Spirit that you heal the sick, it's the same Spirit.
Amen.
Now, if God said that He'll never leave you nor forsake you, then His Spirit is in you.
Amen.
That same Spirit
Yes.
that raises people from the dead is in you.
Amen.
That same Spirit that heals people is in you. Now, you say you don't know what to do. Walk in love. Love that neighbor as thyself. I mean, to me, that's pretty powerful ministry.
Yes.
Because if you walk in love and if you love one another as Christ loved the church, then I'm going to tell you something. You will find things. When you walk in love, you will find what a person needs. You will find how to serve. Until God brings you to the place of where He want to manifest whatever He desires to manifest in you. We talking about being resurrected.
Yeah.
Yes.
We talking about an old way of life to a new way of life.
Come on. Yeah.
And in order to get that, we gotta go by the things that how the Spirit leads us to go the right way. God is never, the Spirit of God is never going to go against the Scriptures.
Right.
So if you ever hear a voice to tell you something and it goes against the Scriptures, better look again. That was the wrong voice.
Amen.
He'll never go against the Scriptures.
So true. So true. So true.
Okay, show me what you're talking about.
All right. Ooh. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a little time here. Okay, what I was talking about was we're talking about the resurrection and how it should bring change, and how that truth does bring change, and how we're supposed to, walk in the newness of life. So after the resurrection, let's go to Luke 24. Luke 24. I'll read out and skip a little bit, try to skim a little bit off of it, and then we can kind of end the session. But we're going to go out on this note because after a resurrection, after we have risen, a change should come after it. So in Luke 24, it talks about, the resurrection, talks about, about what happened, I'm gonna just kind of randomly verse 7 says, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hand of the sinful man and be crucified, and on the third day he should rise again. Okay? Now we shift down to verse 13. 13 is where this is the story that I'm talking about, and the importance of the resurrection, how it began to shift them. And behold, 2 of them went that same day to the village called Emmaus. Yeah, that too. Emmaus. Which was from Jerusalem about 80 furlongs. And they walked together all these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that they have one to another as we walk and are sad? And one of them said, whose name was Cleophas, answering said unto him, art thou the only stranger in Jerusalem, and thou hast not known the things which are come now to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, what things? And they said unto him, concerning Jesus Christ of Nazareth, which was the prophet, mighty mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests, our rulers, delivered him to be condemned to the death. So they go on and keep going on to the conversation throughout the whole thing, and then it says, verse 24, and a certain man, and a certain of them which were with them us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the woman had said unto him, they saw not. Verse 25. Then he said unto them, O fools, and how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? We'll go down to 29. It says, but they constrained him, saying, abide with us. It says, for it is towards evening, and the day is far spent. And he went on to tarry with them. Verse 30. And it came to pass, as he sat and met with them, he took bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to them. And their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. And they said one to another, did not our hearts burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened up the scriptures? So there is an awakening. There is a change. There is something that has to happen when we say, or when we talk about a resurrected life.
Yes.
Can you agree with that?
Yeah, matter of fact, I like where it says the disciples' eyes were open.
Yeah.
You know, as they broke bread. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so it shows us when the word is open, as the word is opening in here, as God opened up the word to us. You know, if you see it as God speaking to us, and not as apostle speaking to us.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes what happens is it's a spirit called a familiarity.
Yeah.
Sometimes you become so familiar with a person that you just, you know, you just kind of wash off what they say, just brush off what they say. You're not really thinking about this is actually God speaking to us. But when you look at it and you said that you know, just like the disciples said, did not our hearts burn when he opened up the scriptures? You get what I'm saying? I mean, see, it's a burning that takes place. It's doing a work on you. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes begin to open. You begin to see things you didn't see before. And when these types of things begin to happen, and you know that this is God, you understand that this is God because it's doing something. It's doing something to you. But this doesn't mean that because it started here, that it finished here.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
See, sometimes what happens is it started here. We close the book and we think it's finished. Just because Jesus said it's finished don't mean it's finished. He mean it's finished for him. Now, he said, he sat down. Why? Because he's walking, he wants you to walk it out. It's been worked out already. This should give you more encouragement to walk out the promises of God. Why? Because they already been mapped out for you.
Yeah.
Everything has already been done. It's finished. But you have to put yourself in a place, a state of mind to understand that it is finished.
Come on.
I was looking at this thing from Colossians 2 and 20, and I'm just 20 and 22, and I'm just going to read it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Wherefore, if we be dead with Christ
Come on.
from the rudiments of this world,
Mm-hmm.
why, as though living into the world, are you subject to ordinances?"
Right.
Why are you subject to ordinances if you dead with Christ?
Right. Right.
It says, "Touch not," because these is the subject to the ordinances.
Yeah.
Touch not, taste not, handle not.
Mm-hmm.
It said, "which all are subject to perish with the using after the commandments of doctrines of men." All of this stuff is after the doctrines of men. It's touch not, taste not, handle not. You shouldn't be subject to all of this stuff anymore.
That means we're still under the law.
Yeah. Still, man, you're still in bondage. And the reason why come you can't have the freedom is because you don't see yourself free. See, whatever you see, you're able to get.
Correct.
But if you can't see it, you can't see yourself being free, you can't get free. You can't help another person until you've learned to first help yourself. Put shackles on your hands and on your feet and then try to help me. It's virtually impossible.
Right. Right.
But if I can get free, if I can stop worrying about myself, if I can just put myself in the state of mind, just as prophet said, if you want to learn how to be most miserable, always have you on your mind. See, because it's something about selfishness. All addictions are rooted in selfishness. You don't think you can be addicted to self, right?